So, welcome to the Biker Frog TV channel. What I want to do today is set out a little bit of what the channel's about. Come on, stop bothering. I've got a little bit of a longer ride, despite lockdown. It's alright, it's all legal, I've got a reason to be going where I'm going. So the channel, it's trying to be a few different things, or at least I'm going to try and make it that way. How successful I am in getting the people together, I could have done it. How successful I'm going to be in getting the people together I need to do some of the stuff that I want to do with this channel, I don't know. But for the most part, it's going to be primarily a motovlog channel. I'll try to be topical with it. Maybe I'll do a few reviews on some of the equipment I own. But I also want to do some things that some of the other channels don't tend to do. I noticed a big rise in touring bike channels, which is great. You know, I think that's wonderful. I think it brings a lot of tourism opportunities, and living where I do, Aberystwyth, that's a great thing. But they don't really go in depth into the logistics of it, and how a motorbike could be the cheapest way to get the best holiday. You know, even the journey there on a motorbike is part of the fun. You don't really get that from a car, unless cars are your thing. It's a 40, mate, come on. So I want to go into the logistics, basically, of camping on a motorbike, into some of the different ways of doing it, how to do it on a budget. Not necessarily the most expensive way to do it, because I do not have that sort of money. But how it can be a great way to holiday. I also want to sort of look at the motorbike not just as a leisure vehicle, but as an everyday practical vehicle, which is what I use my bike as. I don't have a car license. I run this Kawasaki ER6N as my everyday driver. Yep, we're still recording. And that can do a lot for the biking world, I think. We can reduce traffic. It's just about portraying ourselves a little bit differently to the car drivers, so that we become a bit more of their friend. I want to do some Top Gear style challenges. I've got one in the works already, coronavirus allowing, where there's going to be a race between public transport, push bike and a motorbike, maybe a car, but I don't think for the location, I don't think we'd see a great deal of variance between a car and a motorbike, just because Aber's not a city. There's not a lot of filtering opportunities. And a little bit of photography, you know, it's not something I've ever been big into. I'm not saying I'm going to go professional level, all hell break loose. Oops, forgot to indicate it. You know, that's not my intention at all. What I want primarily, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, photography. You know, it's an opportunity to show off my part of the world, really, and how a bike could be better than a car to a photographer if they know what they're doing, which I don't. So I'm probably the worst person to deliver that message. I'm not going to sit here and tell you cars don't have a place, they should all go. That's not what I'm about. Cars do have a place, I fully accept that. So do push bikes, which is usually on the cycle path that they'll refuse to use because of jamming up the roads and being ignorant twats. But whatever. You know, you can see drivers around here are generally okay. They'll spot you in situations like that. It's when they do silly things like stop on a roundabout to allow someone out. I do have my fair share of, well, I suppose you call it bumps and scrapes, but I've only ever come off a bike once. I've never been hit off. That was my own fault. So this isn't a typical run for me. A typical run is basically already done at this point because I'd be in town by now. I've got a different way. I've got to go from my home to Carmarthen today. Which it's a nice run. It's not a massive run, not by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a bit of a bigger run than I usually get. And get to use some of those horrible Welsh lanes and red roads. Why am I doing the channel? So a lot of the reason for me doing this channel, I've wanted to do for years. When I first started on motorbikes, watching Spicy 110, but a big boot up the arse for me recently has been Wildbad, Richie Vida and the likes. You know, I finally got my big bike license last year, despite the pandemic, and it has been great. Life-changing? Nah. And this bike, as you probably guessed, due to the pandemic, hasn't really had its potential explored. Hasn't exactly piled on the miles as much as I'd like to have. The intention for this is to convert her into a bit of a tourer. Do some camping and just generally have as much fun out of it as I possibly can. Go on, mate, you can fit through there. Gotta remember I've got panniers on this. Whoops. It's a lovely road, just not when it's got oil spill all over it. So I want to circle back round again to the points of the channel, the camping. Obviously lockdown's put the kibosh on that. Now, be that as it may, there are still plans. I have 3 big camping trips planned. So the camping is, I'm hoping, going to be a big part of this. That's where the meat of my fun comes. You know, it's a very... might even do some cooking. Which will be fun, because I am a shit cook. Shit cooking with the Biker Frog. Here we go, red road. But look at that view. Look at that view that's completely obstructed by the fog. We're in top gear already.